So if you could give me one piece of advice, what would it be?
Just love your life. Every day that you wake up, I have the best life. There's no life out there that's better than the life that was given to me. No one has the opportunities that you have. No one has the gifts that you have. No one have the talents that you have. Comparison. I think that's another lesson.
Yeah.
Comparison is a killer.
It is.
So while you're loving your life, don't ever compare your life to anybody else's life. 1, you do not know what that person is going through as well. 2, you do not know what they did to get where they're at. 3, you do not know where they're heading. So do not compare your life to anybody's life. Love yours, the life that God gave you. He gave it to you for a reason. He did not create 2 of you for a reason, because you know you're capable to do everything with what He gave you for the purpose that He created you for.
All right. Welcome to another video on Think Twice. And today's episode, we've got Romario here with me. And this is the first of many episodes that's basically detailing the story of the guest that we have. So today we have Romario Mullins, and I'll let him introduce himself before we get into the questions that I have for him.
Romario Mullins, 28. Well, no, I'm not 28. I'm 27. I'll be 28 in a couple of weeks. Entrepreneur. The goal is to be a serial entrepreneur.
Okay.
Just a hustler, go-getter.
Yeah.
That's
it,
guess,
eh?
Yeah, that's me. That's it.
All right. So I sent him a few questions for him to look over, and we're going to go through them right now together. So my first question for him was, what are 3 fitting words to describe you and why?
Resilient is the first one. Why? I don't think there's anything that I can't overcome. Hardworking. Why? Talent is just not enough. 3, God-fearing. Maybe I should have said that one first, but yeah. God-fearing because, God's will over mine all the time.
The second one is, how would you describe where you are now and where you are trying to go?
Where I'm at now, I'm in the driver's seat now. Just fully pressing gas, moving towards everything that I've set out for myself over the last, say 2.5 years. I'm in that phase where things are starting to come together. Not quite where you want them to be, but you can see things just really getting to a point where you're close. You're not quite there yet, but you're pretty close. Things are improving. Things are getting better as it relates to myself, my businesses, and just my entire life in Canada. Where I want to be, my goal is to be a property developer. I'd say I'm about 5 years out from starting where I want to get with that. As it relates to my personal development, where I want to go, I want to be a lot more humble than I am. I still have a far way to go with that. I'm a lot more patient as well. Goal orientation, where I want to go. I have a couple of books, more to go. In the process of writing one. I want to expand my businesses across Canada, especially my cleaning company. Looking to move to a couple of different provinces with that. Yeah, and just trying to get my foot into the aim again in the real estate in Canada, which is a very difficult task at this time, but we're getting there.
That's good. And I like the mindset and the drive that you have. And then, I've known you for about almost 5 years now.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, it has been about 5 years. And every time I see you've taken on a new role in terms of a new project. You're expanding, your resume of your knowledge and experiences. So that's one thing I really admire about you. You're always on the go. You're always, expanding what you have and what you know, which is really important in today's society because you always have to adapt, right? Times change, and so you must change as well, and you must always, be willing to learn. And that's something I've always noticed about you as well, because back then, where you are now, you didn't know what you know now, right?
100%.
So the fact that you're able to absorb changes with time is something that I really do admire. So keep
Appreciate
it up
it,
for
bro.
sure, man. Keep it up.
Appreciate it.
Keep it up.
Appreciate it.
So now the third question is give us a quick summary of Romario as a child, and then Romario as a teen, and Romario now as a young adult.
Mhm.
What changes have you noticed within yourself?
As a child, I was a very troublesome child.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, just problems after problems with my family, etc. But I was also a very smart child as well. So I was one of those kids where a certain level of lenience would be extended to me because though I was a problem child,
Yeah.
I was still a very smart child. So I was getting a lot of work done at school. I was still, top of my classes or in the top batch of my classes. But yeah, I was a very troublesome child. As a teen, I think I was really in a phase of trying to find my identity. Like,
Yeah.
this troublesome person that I've known myself to be, is this really who I am? Is this really who I want to be? So my teenage life was really just searching for exactly like, what's my identity? What do I really want for myself? Who am I really? Was a question that, I asked myself a lot as a teen. And I think during my teenage years was when I really found that drive for being an entrepreneur, because right through my high school life leading up to university, I was studying the sciences, wanted to be a medical doctor, and maybe when I was about 15, 16, I realized that no, like, I want to be an entrepreneur, business. I was selling sweets in school.
Yeah.
I had people in different schools selling sweets for me,
Damn.
and then on Fridays I'd collect the money from them, and so I always tried different things. I started university when I was 17 going on 18, so that still counts as a part of my teenage life. I was still doing the same thing, trying the entrepreneurship thing. I used to go to the States in the summertime, work, and buy like clothes from all the sales that were happening at like the outlets. Aeropostale, I'd buy like shirts for like $5, $6, $7. Go back to Jamaica, sell them for $15, $2,000, which is like $15, $20. So like marking up, you're making double what you pay for everything. So
For sure.
that was just me seeking out my entrepreneurship prowess, and just banking on it and knowing that this is exactly what I want to do. Me now, I'd say I've learned a lot. I used to be one to not know how to take corrections or thinking I know everything when I was a teen or a child. And I found the saying that I say that the man who knows nothing is the man who knows everything. Because when you tell yourself like, hey, there's still a lot to learn, I don't know much, then you're always open to listening to different perspective, understanding things from, a different viewpoint, learning as you go along. The more you learn is the more you're able to, just as you said, adapt. The more you're able to put yourself in different environments, the more you're able to entertain different conversations with different people. And it's good for what I'm doing with my networking, with meeting new people, with expanding everything. So it's just me at this point understanding that though I've come a far way, there's a very far way to go as well. Still trying, just to be patient, to listen more than I speak, to seek wise counsel as well, whether it be from a spiritual perspective or from a business perspective, with people that I, deem to be a lot more knowledgeable or have a lot more wisdom than I do in the areas that I think that I'm lacking, or maybe not even lacking, but just need some more improvement or advice. So now I'm just in that phase of just learning, adapting, and trying to use as much knowledge as I can garner to make myself better and to make everything that I'm putting my hands on, flourish.
Now the fourth question is, how do you say your childhood shaped you to become the man you are now? And with reference to your relationship to your mom, dad, and your siblings.
Crazy. Okay. So my mom moved to the UK when I was like 4 years old. Didn't see my mom again for, the 10 years afterwards.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say I grew up with lacking the presence of my mom, but the physical presence, because my mom has always been like a, not even like a, my mom was like my biggest supporter, motivator, everything,
Yeah.
you know. So she was always there, but physically, no. So not having that physical love, being able to go home and say, hey, mom, I had a bad day, etc. I think that always left a void when I was younger. So as it relates to how that shaped me now as an individual, I'm a father of 2 kids, so I try to ensure that, you know, everything that I do it with the mindset that, hey, my kids, and I always want to be able to, you know that they're young. I have to be maybe grinding quick, that way I can get all this grinding season out the way, that when they're older to understand certain things, all my time can be given to them, you know, instead of just sitting laying back now, or I have my kids and then 4 or 5 years when they're older and they can understand, and hey, they can ask the questions, why is dad not here, etc., etc. He's always working, da 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 da. So it's, you know, me just understanding all that, hey, because that vote is always there, I do not want the same for my kids as relates to the physical presence. So now that they're younger and don't really understand much, it's now the time that I have to use to kind of get my life right, financially, spiritually, mentally, every alley you can think about. That way, when they're again older, you know, my physical presence is never lacking. My dad, I grew up most of my life with my dad. My dad has always been a part of my life. Luckily, I don't have that story like, you know, a lot of men we know that don't have a present father. My father's always been there. However, he's more so of a bigger brother to me than an actual father. Hey, don't do this, don't go here, etc., etc. So I think that kind of gave me a lot of room to make mistakes, and not just not do things because my parents said not do it, but doing it, making the mistakes, and understanding for myself why this is something that I want to be a part of my makeup or who I am. So that room that was given to me by my dad, you know, to go out and experience different things, make my own mistakes, it really built me to be a leader, so I'm not easily influenced. So I think my dad kind of giving me that room and openness made me a true leader. I don't get influenced easily because I've always had room to make whatever decisions that I wanted to make, and then, you know, now I'm able to balance things for myself, understand that this is not a part of what I want to do, this is what I want to do. No one can influence me to do something, no one can make me bend to do something if I don't want to. And, you know, also again for my kids, with my dad being a present father, you know, that just gives me hindsight that, hey, you know, there is nothing that will ever take me away from not being present for my kids. My siblings, I'm the oldest of 15 siblings, so
Wow.
15 kids. So that's one of my biggest influences, especially being the oldest. The Bible tells you about the weight that the firstborn holds, and I strongly believe that if I fail, then I'm only creating a domino effect for all my younger siblings to feel like, okay, yeah, you know, it's okay to let up, it's okay to give up, it's okay to fail, it's okay to do this. So I think I carry that, not necessarily burden, but it pushes me, that pressure to, hey, this is not only about you, this is about 14 other people that are for you. And if you don't get it right, chances are you are messing it up for a lot more people than yourself. So whenever I feel like I'm, you know, overwhelmed with the businesses or overwhelmed with, you know, just about anything, you know, that kind of gives me that extra push to, you know, just remember that you have your younger siblings looking up to you. And I see where, you know, me striving for more, me pushing for more, I see where it pushes them as well. Because now there's an expectation within the family that, hey, if your brother did it from what we provided for him, then you can do the same.
Exactly.
You know, so it's definitely a huge inspiration to my younger siblings. Crazy enough, I was having a conversation with my dad telling him that he's beyond blessed because you have so many kids, and every last one of us, you know, doing something positive with our lives.
Yeah.
Not many parents are blessed enough to share
right.
that same experience or sentiment. So with my siblings, I think, it's just helped me to shape my decision making and trying to influence them in the most positive of ways that I possibly can.
Now, my fifth question is describe a moment where your back was against the wall, and how did you manage to pull yourself together and persevere?
Came here to Canada for school.
Yeah.
Started at St. Mary's. I was doing school, playing soccer. My mom, I can't remember vividly if it was laid off or lost her job. My mom's mom got sick. My mom took the sole responsibility to, take some time to look after her. My mom was my biggest source of financial support growing up. So that kind of hindered my studies here. Dropped out of school. Had little to no financial support.
Yeah.
And it was, I had to dig deep, to tell myself that, hey, this too shall pass, I think that kind of brought me closer to God as well, because, even thinking that, there'd be some form of help or assistance with even me playing soccer for St. Mary's, seeking help, etc., from coaches, members of staff, etc., and there was no help extended. Kind of just gave me that drive, to just trying to figure things out on my own. And it's a testimony that, will be shared very soon. I don't want to get too deep into that yet, but
sounds good.
I think dropping out of school, not being able to finance myself through school was kind of the, one of the major points where my back was against the wall here in Canada. Had to dig deep and, overcome that. But they say everything happens for a reason. If that didn't happen, I wouldn't have started my businesses. I wouldn't be where I am today. So I give thanks that happened. And it kind of helped with me finding, a part of myself that I didn't really know. Again, seeking more of God, building my relationship with God, wanting more for myself, with not being comfortable and content. Because maybe if I came and I had everything figured out for school, I would just go through the motion, and that building that courage and that fearlessness wouldn't be there, because things would be so easily matriculated. It just wouldn't be the same. So it definitely built a lot of character. It definitely was a character building process. Give thanks for it nonetheless, and here I am today. So again, everything happens for a reason. So that was, I guess, one of the times.
No, that's understandable. And like you said, I think if that specific event did not happen, you wouldn't be where you are now in terms of how you've expanded yourself as a human being, and the things that you've learned about yourself during that time, and the traits that you've developed as a result of that specific event that took a turn on the course of your life, right?
Definitely.
So it's a positive mindset that you have of looking things in there's always a good in something that is that dark, even though it's something that happened to the family, but you were able to draw some positive out of it and use it to change and direct your life in a positive manner that
Definitely
brought you where you are today.
Just to add something to that, like, I know a lot of people wouldn't be like okay or open to share like similar experiences like this, because it's sensitive, or they don't, we like to use this thing, or we don't want people in our business, etc. But a lot of the things that we go through in our lives, it's not for us. It's for us to share, to help other people to get through the similar situations or the same situations that they're going through. So I'm pretty sure there's at least one or two people that will watch this who are in a similar situation. It's not the end, and I've always been okay with sharing things like these that happen in my life that way. I can save somebody. That means more to me than any amount of money that will be made in the course of my lifetime. If one or two people can watch this video and hear at least one thing that I say and be like, oh geez, I still have hope. If that happened to him and he was able to persevere and get through this, then it means that there is hope for me. So, don't be afraid to share the things that you go through that you consider to be dark things, or things that, aren't social media savvy, because we like to share the good part of our lives on social media, and then we give people this idea that, oh, life is all sweet and jolly, and a lot of people don't like sharing these experiences, and these are the true experiences that you need to be sharing to show people that, hey, it takes a certain level of contentment, gratitude, prayer, hard work, belief to surpass, the major roadblocks or mountains that you'll face in your life. So,
Question number 6. What 3 things would you change about this world?
fatherlessness,
Yeah.
absent fathers. Yeah. A lot of the problems that we face I think, and this is just my personal opinion, I might be wrong to some people, but yeah, a lot of the problems we face are because there's a lot of fathers missing. Men don't know how to be men anymore. It's a root cause for a lot of the different crime, abuse, drugs, whatever they're all root causes of the home not being a home anymore. And maybe not so much a fatherlessness, but the family orientation. Having a mom and a dad present, working together for the betterment of their children's lives. And don't get me wrong, this doesn't always have to look like the nuclear family as we'd want it to be. But even if it's a situation where mom and dad are separated, mom and dad need to know that working together to make life better for their kids is what comes first, and father being present, father playing his role, mom doing the same, working together. Hey, I've noticed this about our child, what do you think, how can we work on this for him, etc., etc. Just, so that's definitely just the family, the way how the family makeup is right now. No one get too much into that as well, because it's a very sensitive,
It is. Yeah.
a very sensitive topic. That's one thing. 2, I'd say people are trying to be very fast-paced, I'd say.
Okay. In what sense?
Everybody wants the get rich quick thing, Nobody wants to go through the protocols anymore and trust in the process anymore. Believing in whatever it is that you believe in, believing in your process, believing in you. Nobody wants to do that anymore. Everybody wants to just, whatever the quickest route is for me to show the world that I am this person. I think, if that could change a lot of, again, the problems that we're seeing now would definitely be eradicated. So just for people to understand that, everyone's timing, everyone's calling, everyone's purpose, everyone's identity is different. Just owning who you are. Try to be the best you, believe in yourself. Whatever belief system, for me, believing in God, trusting that, God has my best interests at heart all the time. Trusting His will for my life. Whatever that looks like for you, just doing the same thing, and not, just rushing or thinking about the tangible things in life, and understanding that spending quality time with the people that you love, just doing the things that, I won't say make you happy, because sometimes the things that make you happy are really destructive. But, doing things that make you a better person, that are also beneficial to the people around you. Not just about you as well, but serving others. That's a big part of, serving others as well. I think just letting go of being selfish, and people being a lot more selfless.
3 more questions. Okay. The next one. Throughout your time on this planet, what would you say is the most valuable lesson you've learned?
You can do anything that you put your mind to. That's it.
Yeah.
Impossible is a word. I think that's the most valuable lesson. It's just a word. My cousin asked me maybe about 2 months ago, do I have a quote or a word for my business or my life? And I was just like, yeah. And it's, I don't want to quote the verse wrong, but Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. there's no impossible in this world. Before the plane went up in the sky, people believed that there's no way a fixture like that could go in the sky and stay in the sky and fly from one place to the other, taking people. Now people just hop and go on a plane, buy a ticket.
Yeah.
A car, you never know, say a car could have moved. People usually ride donkey, horse. And this is impossible is, it's just a word. There's nothing impossible. I'll just share a quick thing with that. Henry Ford, when he was making the Ford vehicles, in his workshop that was set up, he wanted to create like a different engine for the Ford vehicles. And when he got the engineers together, he was telling them exactly what he wanted to get done. And they told him, like, boss, this is impossible. There's no way we can do this. And his response to them was, okay, if you think it's impossible, you can quit. You can leave the what do you call it? The factory or facility. Yeah, you can leave. I'll get someone else to replace you, and we'll continue to work. 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 2 months, still nothing. Boss, this is impossible. Continue working, or you can stop and go home. 5, 6 months go. Boss, it's impossible. We'll figure it out. It's not impossible. If you think it's impossible, you can always stop or you can go on. After, I think it was 9 months, going on to 12 months, they finally figured it out. And here we have vehicles driving with these big engines every day because of that, believing that nothing is impossible.
No, that's a great lesson. And I think, like you said, it's all in the mind, because once you go over that obstacle, that self-belief, and that mentality of, if I put my mind to it, if I have a brainstorm of what I know I need to contribute on my behalf to overcome this obstacle, then that's it. Because at the end of the day, only you know how far you can go and what you can accomplish, right?
Definitely.
So yeah, I like that quote, and I think it's been around for so long that generations and generations would come eventually to realize that it all depends on how you view yourself and the obstacle ahead of you. If you tell yourself anything is possible, then you will accomplish whatever it is that you want to accomplish.
Definitely.
So
Definitely.
that's a good parting quote. So the next question is, what are some of the things you are now learning as a young father?
Your presence means more than any tangible thing that you can give to your kids. Though you're their parent, they teach you just as much as you teach them. But if you aren't very observant, you'll miss a lot of the lessons that they teach you. Ensuring your decisions, they're always at the forefront of your decisions. How is this going to affect my child? How is this going to affect the relationship with my child? And not just now, but 5 years, 10 years from now. Also, since becoming a father, really understanding what it means to be a father. Because you can have a child and be a dad, Being that father is that's a whole different topic for another day. But being a parent isn't just about providing, or it's being the best you for your children. Why are you so happy? I've seen my mom and dad being happy all the days of their life. Why are you this hardworking? I've seen my mom and dad be hardworking all the days of their life. Why don't you do this? I've never seen my mom and dad do this. So it's ensuring that every day you be a better you, not just for yourself but for your children. Be the best parent you can. The best thing you can do as a parent is be the best you for your children. That's it.
And it's funny that you say that, because I recently read a book, and it was basically just talking about the effects parents have on children. And it's crazy that you said that it's about paying attention to how you interact with your children, because at the end of the day, it's not you're not gonna see what you're teaching them instantly. It's a long-term impact. It's not a now, it's not like a 5 year, 10 years. It's down the line when they are independent. It's when those lessons that they grew up absorbing from you are going to replicate, whether it's good habits, bad habits.
Definitely.
That's what shapes their identity, and that's what shapes their interaction with society. My last question for you is pretty selfish. It's something that I want you to part with me, all right? So if you could give me one piece of advice, what would it be?
It's a deep question again. Love yours. Yeah, just love your life. Every day that you wake up, I have the best life. There's no life out there that's better than the life that was given to me. No one has the opportunities that you have. No one has the gifts that you have. No one has the talents that you have. There's not another Abdullah Barry out there. Which means that God created this Abdullah Barry and gave you everything that you needed to go through everything that will happen in your life, you'll go through in your life, that you should accomplish in your life, that you will accomplish in your life. You were given all the tools, the gifts, the talents, everything. So I think people kind of get sidetracked sometimes when they're like, oh, they see someone maybe the same age doing maybe a lot better than they're doing, and you know, why my life have to be like this, or comparison. I think that's another lesson.
Yeah.
Comparison is a killer.
It is.
So while you're loving your life, don't ever compare your life to anybody else's life. One, you do not know what that person is going through as well. Two, you do not know what they did to get where they're at. Three, you do not know where they're heading. So do not compare your life to anybody's life. Love yours, the life that God gave you. He gave it to you for a reason. He did not create two of you for a reason, because you know you're capable to do everything with what He gave you for the purpose that He created you for. So just try to walk in your purpose. Love your life. Don't compare yourself to anybody. You were made perfect. They say nothing, oh, you were made perfect. There's no flaw. You were made with no flaws any at all. Because God don't make mistakes. So if God don't make mistakes, it simply means you were made with no flaws. Yeah, it's the human mind that comes down, oh, you were made with flaws. Oh, you're big, you're small, you're tall, you're short, you're black, you're white. That's just the human mind. You know, if He said that we all were created equally, then what is how does any one of us become with any flaws? We are all made perfect. Love your life for what it is. And in loving your life, I think you will learn to be content. And being content, understanding that this that I'm going through, it's meant for me to go through. The way how I look, this is how God wanted me to look. You know, the things that I'm going through, these were things that were meant for me to go through. If it's either a blessing or a lesson. The people that I meet, it's not by chance. I was meant to meet these people. I was meant to do everything that's happening in, you know, my immediate life. And just, love your life and don't compare yourself to anyone. Comparison will steal your joy.
Appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Thank you so much, man.
That's it.
Thank you.
And support my business. If you guys need anywhere to be cleaned, or you guys have any units that you want to, or you know anyone that has any units that you want to do short-term rentals with, or long-term rentals. Our property management company, we do short-term rentals, long-term rentals. Cleaning company, we do residential, commercial cleans, Airbnb cleaning, move-out cleans, just about anything.
Do you have a website that I can link in the bio of
www.imadecleaning.ca. You can go in there and you'll see everything. Book number 2.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, book number 2. Working on it. Been working on it for a minute. It's coming. Definitely gonna be a little bit different from the first one. This book is me again, just being open about some life experiences, and I think, you know, God has brought me to where I am now for me to share those experiences with people and not just hold on to them. They're testimonies. Everything you go through in life is a testimony. So this book is just filled with, you know, a couple of testimonies trying to encourage people. And support the business. www.imadecleaning.ca. And yeah, Zenkai Property Management. If you guys have any units or know anybody that wants someone to manage their Airbnbs or their long-term rentals or just about clean their Airbnbs or any cleaning needs, etc. 902-448-4935. That's the business line.
I love that.
Bless.
Love that,
Thanks,
bro.
bro.
Thank you, man.
No problem,
Thank
bro.
you for coming
Appreciate it,
through,
bro.
man.